Good morning. Good morning and welcome. Oh, it still looks like it's connecting. Good morning. Welcome to Cat Lady Yoga. My name is Regina. Snuggles is right here beside us. And I believe Phoebe, yep, she's right behind me up on the stand. So we're so glad to be here with you today. We are here for Yoga Nidra, for Yin. And so we will be using props if you have them. You can use improvised props if that's a better option for you. And improvised props can be anything from cushions from the couch, pillows from the bed, blankets, and you don't even have to have a yoga mat. You can just either do this on carpet or roll out a blanket and find something soft and comfortable to be on, just so you're not on a hard surface. All right, so let's begin. Let me make my way back to my mat. My name is Regina. And I introduced you to cats, but I apologize. I already forgot if I told you my name. So let's begin today in a child's pose. Child's pose is a very common pose. Most people are comfortable with it and have some comfort in that posture. So for child's pose, you can either keep the knees together or you can take them out wide. So Snugglebug, you're going to need to move just a minute, maybe. He'll move. All right. And then you want the toes to stay together. So even if the knees are wide, bring the toes back together and then inch your hips back over your heels. Now, if this is not comfortable in your knees or your hips, you have some options. One, take a thin prop. It can be a rolled up hand towel, a couple of washcloths, or a bath towel, but take something behind the knees, and that will give you a pocket of space and it makes the pose more comfortable. And then from here, you can either bring the torso and the forehead all the way down to the earth, or you can bring in props. So you can bring in, this is a toss cushion from the couch, bring in whatever fits you. So if the legs are wide, take it in between the legs, snuggle into it, and then come on down. You can see the cats are just so happy to be in yoga class today. They love when I roll out the mat. So anyway, we are going to be here in a child's pose, and the arms are extended forward or down beside your legs, whichever feels best for you. And we'll be here for just about 3 to 5 minutes. So find what works in your body. If you need to come out and make adjustments, do so. And then we'll come into that pose and hold for time. So we want to find a place where we can be still and hold for time. And today in our practice, we're moving through the 7 essential yin postures for maintenance in the body. Our opening pose isn't necessarily considered one of them, but it is a great way to start our practice. So as you're in your posture, take this time to guide your mind into a place of stillness as well. Notice if the thoughts are coming and going without judgment, just notice them. And then on an exhale, see if you can release them, let them float away. bringing the mind into this place of stillness along with the physical body will actually give you greater benefits and more peace as you journey through the practice and after. Your breath is a wonderful anchor that you can use anytime you find the mind wandering on a variety of thoughts. Typically, we all have the same thoughts day after day with very little variation. And so using this time to focus on just the breath gives the mind a break from those that thought process and pattern so that you can actually have a healthier mental state. Coming into your last 5 slow, full breaths, really feeling the body expand on the breath in and surrender on the breath out. After your 5th breath, guide the hands in closer to the body. Inhale, slowly rise. With yin, we do everything slowly. Move your props, but keep them, of course, within arm's reach. And then walk the knees in under the hips. From here, take a moment, extend one leg behind you with the toes tucked, reaching out through the leg. It looks like my props are in the way of the camera, so that you are getting a nice stretch through the back of the leg, as well as the sole of the foot and into the toes. And then bring that leg in and switch it out. Toes are tucked under, you're reaching out through the heel. Heel of the hands are under the shoulder, and you're really spreading your fingers. Anytime you bear weight in the hands, you want to spread the fingers and anchor down through the 4 corners of the hand, as well as the knuckles and fingertips are gripping. And then bring it in. All right, we're moving into a toe squat. Let me take just a moment. This yoga mat is in the way. And just move all of these. That'll help you see more of the mat. All right, so toe squat. Our toes are tucked under us. And we're inching the body weight back. Now, here's the thing. This can be intense. And if it doesn't feel intense in the beginning, it can always creep up on you. So you want to keep something close by that you can either lean the body back onto in the forward position, or just bringing the hands back to the earth, right? But still keeping toes tucked so that we can start that stretch into the toes, into the soles of the feet. Every meridian in our body moves through our feet. It either originates there or has some connection in the feet. And so we want that energy moving. We do not want it stagnant. Stagnant energy is what leads to a lot of our pain and discomfort. All right, last 3 breaths here. We'll visit it again. So it can be more available if we ease into it and then come back again. All right, from here, inch the body forward, take the toes up, and then roll through your ankles. Point and flex the feet. All right, come onto the tops of your feet, if that's available in your body. Pardon me, I've had some allergies, so let me just stop this drip. From here, if it's available, then we're bringing the hands beside us. You can use the hands on the floor, or you can use blocks, and lift your knees so that you're stretching the front of your ankles. And bring it down. So we often forget or don't think about taking the time to massage our feet or to stretch and rotate through our ankles. And everything we do when we're walking requires us to have fluidity and mobility in our ankles and our feet and our toes. So we take some time in yin, but that doesn't mean it's the only time you should do it. So if you have some time during the day and you think about it, then just take a couple of moments and stretch the ankles, rotate them, flex and point, and wiggle your toes, stretch your toes, etc. So I'll show you some more of that toward the end of our practice. All right, so from here, we're moving into dragon. And from dragon is simply a low lunge. So I'm going to keep the blocks close by. And if you don't have blocks, you can use anything similar, sometimes even a sturdy cardboard box. Bring your right leg forward. Yes, see that? And inch the body forward. So our goal here is to stretch the front of the left hip. So this hip flexor is in here. And you can use blocks to bring the floor up or anything else. Keep moving the hips forward and down as the body softens and is willing, right? So over time, the body will invite you deeper into a pose. Bring the awareness back to the breath. Each breath in opens the body, creates space. And each exhale is an opportunity to drop into that space. From here, you can stay exactly where you're at. Back out of it if you need to the point that you barely have the hip flexor extended. Or you can come into what we call winged dragon. So let me turn around so I can show you. Sorry, baby girl. Right, so from here, coming into that traditional dragon, right, moving the hips forward. And then from there, if you want to go into winged dragon, you walk your right leg further out, outside of the right hand. And then allow the right foot, if it's comfortable for you, to turn on outer edge. This is called supination. And you can stay here, or as the body opens and invites, my body's not quite there yet, you can exhale down to your forearms. And you can come straight to the floor, or you can come onto blocks or some other solid support. If you stay upright, you'll get a deeper stretch into the hip flexor on the left side. Going into winged dragon helps you to open into the groin more. And if you come down onto the forearms, then you'll find a deeper stretch for the groin on the right side. So just noticing what your body is willing to do is part of your practice. That's awareness. And then honoring that is a big part of the practice. So we don't want to go somewhere the body's not willing to go. We don't need to have pain. In fact, if there's sharp stabbing or burning pain, you need to ease out of it. That's not where you want to be. That's not advantageous. So if we're coming down, coming back to breath, maybe adding a mantra simply being a word or phrase that you focus on. So maybe the inhale is I am, and the exhale, surrendering. You can drop your chin toward your chest. Keep the jaw easy, the tongue on the floor of the mouth. Last 5 breaths. After your 5th breath, slowly bring the body up. Slowly bring the foot down and inch the hips back. Remember, slow is good here. Extend your right leg. Walk it back in line with your hip. We're moving into a stretch or a stress for the hamstrings and the calf. So from here, lift and lower through the foot a bit. And then as you're ready, exhale over the leg. Stay as high as is comfortable for your body. So you could be all the way up here, or you might be down here more. Find what fits. Come into stillness. Ease the hips a little more. Last 5 breaths. After your 5th breath, slowly ease up with the inhalation. Guide right leg in. And take a moment and just sit on your heels. So we're releasing our hamstrings, our quadriceps. Excuse me. Just a little stretch back. This is thunderbolt. Pardon me, you don't have to lift your knees here. We're just stretching into the quads. And then ease the body forward again. And we'll come into dragon for the 2nd side. So left leg steps forward. Inching the hips forward. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the mat. I have better lighting there, and it's just more comfortable for me as well. You know where we're going now. So the left foot is forward, the right leg is long, getting that stretch on the hip flexor for right side. Lower your support at any point in time as the body opens and is willing. And at any point, if the body is willing, you can walk the left leg outside of the left arm, coming into winged dragon with the option of coming over onto that outside edge. So you're getting that stretch a little deeper into the groin. Again, sharp stabbing and burning pain are not encouraged here. So ease out of your pose if you experience that. Maybe come back to your mantra. I am surrendering. Five more breaths. After your fifth breath, slowly inhale up, hinge the hips back. Walk left leg back in line with the hip. Extend the leg. Move through the ankle a little bit. And with toes up, exhale down over the leg. And 5 more full deep breaths. After your fifth breath, slowly bring the torso back up. Hinge the leg in. Bring it underneath. Good. We're sitting on the heels again. This time we will lift the knees. So bring the props in if you need to, pulling the body weight back. And maybe the knees don't lift. You just bring the hands back behind you. But if it's available, lift your knees. Shoulders down. And exhale the legs back down. Good. Tuck your toes. Extend one leg, the other. Good. And we are moving into our swan. So swan will give you the opportunity to forward fold. So make sure you have room at the top of your mat. Step your right leg forward. And as you step it forward, you're going to take the foot over to the left side so that your right knee is behind your right wrist and your right heel is behind the left hip. So we're not looking to have this shin at a 90-degree angle to the mat or parallel to the mat. Your knee does not need to be at a 90-degree angle. Most of us do not have that range of motion in our joints, and we want to work with our bodies, not against. So from here, we're going to start out nice and tall. So a block of some kind or something of that nature can bring the floor up to you. So this will increase that stretch in the front of your left hip. Take a couple of breaths here. Feel the body ease and surrender downward. And then exhale, bring the body down. As you come down, you may stay up fairly high. You can stay up on blocks and stay up on your arms. Or you can bring the body all the way down. It's a great place for a prop or two. Now, really important that we're mindful that we're not dropping the right hip, the body over onto that right hip. So there's a tendency to do that. Make sure your hip stays squared up. And if you need to, take a prop under that hip. So let me ease up just to show you what that looks like. I'm going to turn, right? So step that right leg forward and have come into pigeon. If you drop the hip over, then you're tweaking your back, and this is not good. Keep the hips squared, and then take a prop under that hip. Whatever prop you need, whatever thickness you need to keep the body supported so you're not dropping over. Keep the hips squared up. Okay. Consider what brings you to your mat today and what you would like to have more awareness of as you move through your day. And this is what we can use to dedicate our practice to or set an intention, whatever feels right for us. So if your goal is to have more inner peace, then set an intention. Let your focus be on that. Your mantra can even be around that. So I am at peace. Can be a simple mantra that gives you an anchor to come back to. And in your practice, if that's your intention, then you can just continue to bring yourself back to inhale space or inhale peace, and exhale, release what you no longer need. Release what you no longer need. And if there's something in your life that's creating stress, a thought, it's usually, most of the time, there's a thought process going on in our minds that is contributing to our lack of inner peace. So let go of that which you no longer need. Will make a difference for you. Right? 5 more breaths. After your 5th breath, slowly ease the hands in under the shoulders. Slowly bring the torso up. Show you how we come out of this. So from your swan, the hands have come in. We're going to ease the body up. Inch the hips back so you can bring the right knee underneath you. From here, let the heel of the hands be under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. Taking a moment to ripple through the spine, so soften the elbows. Inhale, lift the tailbone. Push the earth away to lengthen the arms again as you extend your spine and lift your chin. On your exhale, soften the elbows, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, and come to cat pose. So chin toward the chest. And again, inhale, extend. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale to neutral and step your left foot forward. So as you step your left foot forward, We're setting up for your swan on the second side. Walk it across. Reach the right leg long behind you. And we want the foot to move straight back, toes move straight back. So you can even glance over your right shoulder. Make sure the toes are moving straight back. We don't want the foot to curve in or curve out. We want it to be straight. All right? So start out nice and high, lengthen the spine, breathe down into the deep belly. When your body is ready to come down to sleeping swan, let the exhale bring you down. Remember again, we want to prop the hip. If it's dropping over, or you just want to take any concern about it dropping, just take a prop underneath there. All right, 5 more breaths. After your 5th breath, slowly bring the hands back in under the shoulders. Press the body up. Move your props. Cat hair in my face. Inch the body back. Slide left leg underneath. Walk the right knee in. Take a moment in stillness here, just a neutral spine, letting the blood flow. And then we're lowering the body all the way down. So we're preparing for seal pose. Seal pose helps to bring some compression into the stomach, spleen, and urinary bladder meridians. So it's really important. Just move some things out of the way. I like when I come into seal to have my larger prop to come under my shoulders and under my arms. You can explore what feels right for you. The legs will go long behind you. And the forearms are on the earth, or typically elbows under our shoulders, but I'm using this prop. And so I have elbows are just a little forward of my shoulders as I use this prop under the chest and under the arms to bring the floor up to me. You can also take something a little higher under the shoulders and hug the arms into that. So wherever you're at, we're bringing a little stress into the low back and we're pressing the abdomen down onto the earth. So find a prop that helps you feel supported. If you don't have a prop, you can simply press into your forearms to keep extending the spine. And then other options, you're going to start here, taking your first 3 to 5 breaths. After those first 3 to 5 breaths, you can allow the shoulders to soften. Drop the head and allow the head to hang between the shoulders like it's in a hammock. And wherever you're at, take a moment, notice the glutes, and make sure you allow them to release. Unhinge through your jaw. Maybe swirl the tongue around and let it settle to the floor of your mouth. And then ease through your brow. Let it soften. Let go of any worries or concerns. And back to your intention, to your mantra. All right, so you have 5 more breaths. You can stay right where you're at. Or if you're looking for a little more stress, reach the arms out, taking the hands toward the corners, and then extend as you press into the hands, lengthen the arms, and bring the body up a little. I have a gorgeous little girl right here in front of me. Looks like you. And then after your 5th breath, ease the arms back in. If you have a kitty or a puppy or something close by, give it some love. And then walk the hands in so you can slowly press the body up, move the knees back underneath you, and press back into your child's pose, that opening pose we had, for 3 breaths. Just bringing a sweet release to the low back and the hips. And then bring the body back up. And we're moving our way over into our sitting bones. So on our sitting bones, the bones in your bum that you sit on, that's where we'll be, but we want to take and make sure that our pelvis is tipping forward. So often, let me give you a little demonstration. Often, when we sit, we round the low back. This dumps it out. The abs are not supporting us, and it's what leads to a lot of pain. So we want to take a little prop underneath, and this will help us to sit up straighter, keeping the low back tall and wide, and it helps to protect the back. So if the pelvis is tipping up, the low back is rounding out, that's not a place you want to spend a lot of time. You want the pelvis tipping forward when you're in a seated posture. Excuse me. We're moving into our butterfly pose. And then from there, we'll move into straddle. Both of these poses work into our inner leg and into our hips and allow us to bring some movement into the energy lines of our kidneys and our liver. So we'll start with our butterfly. That's where the soles of the feet are coming toward one another, even if they don't touch. And I will give you some options here as well. So you can always use a block if the feet need something to connect to because they're not making contact with each other. Maybe a block or some other support like that will help. If you've had a meal recently, this can be a nice option because it helps to make the pose more comfortable for those of us who have had a meal. If after your first 5 breaths, you're looking for more intensity, take a prop or some kind, bring the feet onto that. It will increase the intensity. It's a different feel and different sensations. You can always take props under the knees if you need that as well, whether the feet are on a prop or not. Then you can sit tall and then hinge forward. So when we hinge, we're moving from our hips, not the waist, from the hips. And then consider taking your arms, reach them out, reach them up, and then take the fingertips to the back, bringing the elbows in, and maybe you hinge forward. This will bring a nice stretch into your shoulders. It also happens to be the mudra for the upper body and helps to bring a deeper breath into the upper body. Just focus on the breath coming and going, expanding the breath into the top of our lungs. You may notice an increase in your blood pressure or your heart rate. So if that's a challenge for you already, then bring the hands back down and let's avoid any elevation there. But it increases the cardiovascular system, increases the exercise of the cardiovascular system. It is wonderful for increasing circulation to the area of our thyroid gland. And most of us could benefit from some help there. If your thyroid is already overactive, or you're experiencing a migraine or anything else that just doesn't feel right, release this posture in the arms. I'll repeat a mantra 3 times. If it's resonating with you, feel free to repeat it to yourself. As I expand my upper body breathing, I awaken to my wider perspectives. As I expand my upper body breathing, I awaken to my wider perspectives. As I expand my upper body breathing, I awaken to my wider perspectives. On an inhale, bring the body upright. Reach both hands to the sky, palms meet. Exhale to heart. Anjali Mudra, a little tuck of the chin to honor yourself. And then release. Roll through your wrist, wiggle your fingers. We're moving into our straddle. So bring one leg up and the next. Extend your legs for a moment and give them some movement. Now, when we move into dragonfly, our straddle, that is very relative to each individual. So some people straddle, this is it. And there is no forward fold. This is where they're at. Your hamstrings, their hips, their low back, everything is really tight. Or there's some genetic construction that prevents them from going anymore. This is honoring your body. This is where you should stay. Now, if it's more comfortable, you might actually bend your knees. Maybe this gives you a little more forward motion. And if that's where it feels right for you today, then go with that. If your option is to go wider, then go wider. You may want props in the front to bring the floor up to you as you come into your forward fold. So feel free to adjust those. Feet fall naturally, so there's no need to keep them flexed. Let them fall naturally. If it's available to you, hinge the body over. Another variation or option is to keep a little bend in the knees, maybe not as much as I demonstrated earlier. Take a little prop under there. That can make the pose more available, more comfortable. If you can bring the forehead to a place of rest, that will be great. It's very advantageous and brings some synergy and movement into the space of the brow where we hold a lot of our stress and tension. And as you're in your dragonfly, come back to the mantra I shared with you earlier. I am surrendering. Each breath in brings space, and each exhale is a release into that space. Hold on, baby girl. Phoebe. Phoebe. If you would like to add more shoulder stress, inhale the body up, let the arms open wide, move one elbow under the other, and either take hands to shoulders or intertwine the forearms, bring the back of the hands to touch or the palms to touch, elbows move away. And this is what we call eagle arms. It's a nice stretch for your shoulder blades. You can stay up tall or hinge the body forward. If you have the arms in eagle arms, inhale to bring the body up, open, and switch arms. Shoulders or intertwine. Exhale, take them back into your fold. Last 5 breaths. And after your 5th breath, inhale to come up. Slowly unwind your arms. Wiggle through your shoulders. Give them a little roll, a little movement. And then move through your ankles. Move our props. And gently and slowly bend one knee and the next. Heel toe your feet in. And then lengthen and pedal them out. Maybe girl, we're not opening that right. All right. We are ready to roll the body down. So move the prop that was underneath your sitting bones. Bend your knees and roll down. As you roll down, take a moment and feel the earth beneath you, your hips, your shoulders, your head. Feel the body surrender and ground to earth. Move right knee into chest. Give it a hug. Move through your ankle and your toes. And then the left leg will be going long. Now we're moving into our spinal rotation, and we will have the option for cat pulling its tail. And that's simply where I'll show you when we get there. So from here, you may want to prop on your left side. So take it over there if you think you'll need it. Scoot your hips to your right side. As you exhale, move the right knee over toward the left side. It doesn't have to go all the way, but as much as possible, get right hip on top of left. And then we're moving into making sure that both shoulders are down. So you might need to scoot your shoulders toward the left, and you can hang out here. This is your spinal rotation. This might be all you're interested in. If so, stay there, focus on your breath. For those who would like to come into cat pulling its tail, bend left knee, bringing the left heel toward the booty. Reach the right arm down, capture the foot. If the body doesn't readily give this to you, release any effort. We don't want to bring any discomfort or tweaking into our back. Right? So you can even just bend the knee and walk the heel in. I normally enjoy that pose today. My body is not liking it, so I'm going to leave it out. Bring ease to the body as you exhale.
On your next inhale, actually, let's stay here 3 more breaths. And then after that third breath, inhale, hug the right leg in and flow the body over onto your back. Give the right leg a hug and set the right foot. We're taking our props to second side. Scoot hips to your left side. Lengthen right leg, hug left knee in. With your exhale, move left leg to the right side, doing what you can to stack left hip on top of right. Shimmy the shoulders around, make sure they're both down, or use a prop under them. And option to bend the right knee, bringing the heel toward the glutes, and maybe the left hand takes the foot. If you have to lift the torso to grab the foot, when you come back down, make sure your shoulders are both on the earth. Your head can stay center or rotate any direction that feels right for you. Three more breaths. After your third breath, exhale, release the right foot if you're holding it. Hinge the left leg in. Bend the right knee to plant and helps shift your body over onto your back. Hug left knee into the chest. Option to add the right, so you have double wind removing. That's what this is called. Both knees in, really compressing onto the belly. Option to gently rock side to side. Maybe you take the knees into a circular motion. This brings a little massage to your low back. Reverse the direction of your circle. And then when you're ready, lengthen your legs down your mat. Make sure your hips and shoulders are square. Arms are long beside you. Palms are up. Create space between the torso and the arm. This allows all the energy centers to flow freely. You can take the left feet toward the corners of your mat or just widen the legs. And everything softens downward. This doesn't feel good in your low back. You can bend the knees, take the feet wide, let the knees fall against each other. And another option is to take a prop under your knees. This will help to release your low back and make it more comfortable. So find what feels right for you. Keep the neck long, the jaw easy. Feel the earth hold and cradle you. Feel the clothing or fabric of any kind on your skin. Maybe you feel the coolness of the floor, the warmth of the air. If you're in the midst of any transitions in life, take the hands and create a triangle, letting the thumbs rest just under the navel center and the fingers reaching toward the pelvis. Converting mudra, very beneficial for transitions. Notice the whole right side of your body. Observe the whole left side. Now sense the right arm and left leg at the same time. And sense the left arm and right leg together. Now feel the whole body. Sense energy in the whole body. Whole body. Release the arms, wiggle your fingers and toes. Gently make your way over onto your right side. Knees are drawn in, and then softly bring the body up to seated. Coming into a little easy seat, we'll close our practice. Inhale your arms and fill your arms, heart, and mind with love and kindness for yourself. As palms touch, exhale the heart. Share love and kindness with others. We are all priceless. Shanti. Shanti means peace, Sanskrit for peace. Thank you so much for being here, for allowing Phoebe, Snuggles, and myself to be a part of your journey. We are honored and look forward to being able to see you again. Leave your comments, your questions. If there's a certain part of the body you'd like to focus on in a practice, let us know. And we look forward to seeing you again for Yin, for Yoga Nidra. You can join us here on our membership site, Let's Bamboo, or you can join us over on YouTube as well. We look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.